All right, well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting day in mathematics. Whoop, whoop. Warm-up 128 is on the screen. Just copy it. You can do that practice on your own. I want to get to the study guide right away. We left off on number 9. Today we're continuing on with number 10. So just copy that. I'll give you 1 minute. Copy it, and then I'll show you the agenda. All right. Copy the agenda, please. Warm-up 128. Semester 2 concepts and skills. Tonight, home play, your study guide. Hopefully we can get through 10 through 21 today. You can do those by yourself at night. And once again, in order to study, go back again to the study guide on that code that I gave you at the beginning of the class. Then look at the problem. Do the problem by yourself. Check your work with the video lesson that's uploaded on YouTube. See if you got the correct answer. If you didn't, do it again. Fix the problem, do it again until you already finish the entire problem completely without looking at your notes and getting it correct. Then move on to the next one. It's just repetition, people. Processes. All right? Copy this code, please, to access the presentation. SW3KM. SW3KM. Also, you have the study guide in there. That's going to appear as soon as you log in. All right. So last night, you should have done numbers 1 through 9 again. Tonight, 10 through 21. So, get a paper ready. Let's get started with this. Number 10. All right. So quick recap in regards to functions. Look up, please. We started with f of x equals x. That is a linear function. Then we went to f of x equals x squared. That's a quadratic or a parabola. From there we went to f of x equals x cubed. From there we went to f of x equals x to the fourth when we did the polynomial functions with a lot of stuff going on here and so on and so forth. From then we went to f of x equals 1 over x, which is the asymptotes, like so. And then we added f of x equals 1 over x squared with the asymptotes and the graph here and here. So, one thing that we said is that the exponent on the variable is the one that tells us how many times it crosses the x-axis, number 1. And number 2, what kind of graph it is. Linear, it's got a 1. Quadratic, it's got a 2. Cubic, it's got a 3. Quartic, and so on and so forth. This is a rational. So, the most common ones are these 3 that we've been using throughout the year. Therefore, look up to the screen. Problem number 10. It starts with f of x equals x cubed plus 6x squared plus 9x. So look, without even doing any work, look up to the screen. What would be the parent function of that equation that they give us there? The parent function is f of x equals x cubed. Is that correct? Which means the graph has to look something like this. So, just by looking at it, let me zoom out. Which of those look something like that? Tell your neighbor, which of those look something like that? Yeah, it's either A, B, or C. I mean, D. C is not because it's a quadratic, so right away we exclude that one. Now, the second thing to check, look at the equation. Notice that it doesn't have a what in front of it, a negative. Is that correct? If it doesn't have a negative, that means it doesn't flip. So that means it has to look something like this. Which ones look something like that? Only A and D. This one is flipped upside down, so it cannot be B. So it has to be between those two. So now that we narrowed it down, let's find out the intercept. So we take the equation, look up, and set it equal to 0. 0 equals x cubed plus 6x squared plus 9x. First thing we check for is GCF. Question: what does each term have in common? Mario, what does each term have in common? An x. So we write x, and we're left with x squared plus 6x plus 9. And all that equal to 0. Next, 0 equals x, but this one right here we need to break up. How? 9 and 6. What factors of 9 add up to 6? What two factors of 9, or multiply to give us 9 that we can add, give us 6? Everyone. Yeah, 3 and 3. So my factors are x plus 3, x plus 3. Next step, set it equal to 0 and solve. All of them. Start with this one. X equal to 0. Then this one, x plus 3 equal to 0. Then this one, x plus 3 equal to 0. So this is already solved. Minus 3 minus 3. X equals negative 3. Minus 3 minus 3. X equals negative 3. All right. So, starting with 0. Does this one cross through 0? Yes. How about this one? Yes. All right, so both of them cross at 0. Next, which one crosses at negative 3? Twice. Let's see. Not crosses. What happens when we have two of the same kind, guys? What happens? Do we cross? No, we bounce off of it. Does this one have a negative 3? No, so the answer is A. All right, let's go to number 11. All right, once again, look up, guys. How many x's do you see on the polynomial? 1, 2, 3. That means that the parent function is f of x equals x cubed. That means that graph should look like that. Does it have a negative in front of the first parentheses? No, so it has to look like this. Which one of those look like that? B and what? And D. Not A, not C. Why not, Mr. Q? Because if it has a negative, then they would flip and it would look like these two. All right. So, with that said, how do we find out which one it is? Well, we are right here. I'm going to set that equal to 0. X minus 1, x plus 1, x minus 4. So what is the next step, Mr. Q? Set each one of those equal to 0, starting with this one. X minus 1 equal to 0, x plus 1 equal to 0, x minus 4 equal to 0, and solve. Plus 1, x equals 1, minus 1, x equals negative 1, plus 4, x equals 4. So, let's see. We have positive 1 of x. Let's see, which one crosses at positive 1? This one and that one, both of them. Okay. So far, so good. We're done with that one. Let's go to the next one. Negative 1. -1, -1, both of them, okay. Last one, which one crosses at +4? +4. This one, how about this one? No. So the answer is B. Go to number 12. All right. For number 12, this is a polynomial function. Let's start with this one. Look up to the screen. Let me zoom in. It says, which of the following polynomial functions could have the graph shown? Let's start with this point right here. What do you guys notice? That the graph, what? Bounces off of it. Is that correct? So that means it's not one, but two of them. So we're going to write x equals -1, x equals -1. Once again, tell your neighbor why I wrote it twice. Remind your neighbor, why did I write -1 twice? Because the graph is doing what? It's bouncing off of that number. What other number do they give us? X equals 2. And the last one is x equals 5. So now all we're going to do is go backwards. Check this out. Set each one of these equal to 0. You're like, but it's already equal to a number, Mr. Q. All right, well, let's get rid of the number. +1 + 1, x + 1 equal to 0. The next one, we need also to set it equal to 0, but it's a -1, so we add 1. Add 1. We're left with x + 1 equal to 0. Next one, -2 - 2, x - 2 equal to 0. -5 - 5, x - 5 equal to 0. All right, next. Now that we have all our binomials, we write them in parentheses. Look up, like this. Parentheses, x + 1. The next parentheses is x + 1. The next parentheses is x - 2. And the next parentheses is x - 5. And you put all of those equal to 0. So, let's start matching up what we have here. Let's look at A. This one has 2 + 1s. Does this one have +1? No. The next one, does it have +1? No. The next one, does it have +1? Yes. But how many do we have, guys? 2 of them, is that correct? So, how do we write 2 of them together? With a what? A squared. So it can't be C either. So the correct answer is D. All right. Let's go to number 13. Number 13. All right. Let me zoom in. Same process for this one. Let's get started. Start with the first x that they give us. What is the first x? X equals -2. Let's go to the next one. Tell your neighbor how to write that one next to x equals -2. How do you write that one? Tell your neighbor, please. All right, Mario, pass someone. Enrique, how do I write this right here? Again, twice. Hands if you did that. That is correct because it's bouncing off. It's not crossing. That's how you know it's twice. From there, what do we do next? Well, we need to set them equal to 0. So plus 2, x plus 2 equal to 0, minus 1, x minus 1 equal to 0, minus 1, x minus 1 equal to 0. And from there we set them in parentheses. X plus 2, x minus 1, x minus 1, and all that equal to 0. All right, let's match them. Let's see. X plus 2. This one, no. This one, no. This one, yes and yes. Okay, so far both of them have that. But then we have x minus 1 twice, so the correct answer is D. Are we doing? Yes? Good? All right. Go to number 14. Number 14. Number 14 says the graph of the parent function f of x equals x squared is given. So what they're saying, look up please, what they're saying is that they already graphed this one. It's right there. So when you get to this one, look up, do this. Label that f of x so that you know that this is our f of x. Next, I'm going to switch to blue. So, before we move this, we need 5 points. Is that correct? Tell your neighbor the 5 points that we're going to use for this parabola. What are the 5 points? 5 points. Enrique, pass them one. Mario, what are my 5 points? 0, 0, 1, 1, negative 1, 1, 2, 2, 4. Yes. All right. So those are my 5 for the parent function. So now all we have to do is do the transformation. Let's do the transformation in blue. Tell your neighbor what this tells us to do with those 5 points. What do we do with those 5 points according to that? Where do we go? Mario, pass him one. Gio, where do we go? Right and down. So let's start with this one. 4 right, 3 down. 1, 2, 3. 4 right, 1, 2, 3 down. So that was this one. I'm going to do this one now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Once you do the transformation here, then just match it to the answers. Let's see. Which one looks kind of like that one? Talk to the neighbor. Which one looks kind of like that one? Let's see. Is it this one? No, this one looks like it went up. Is it this one? No, that one looks like we went to the left. Is it this one? We went to the left and up. So the correct answer is A. That's all you do. You do the transformation, and then you just match the answer. How we doing? Good? Yes? All right. Continue. Go to number 15. Solve the polynomial by factoring. Let's write it out. Negative 2x to the 5th minus 14x to the 4th minus 12x cubed equal to 0. So the key word here is factoring. So let's start by checking for GCF. Is there a number that divides all three terms, everyone? All right, good. Which one, Caesar? Negative 2. That is correct, because it's got a negative. All of them, well, at least the first one has a negative, so it's negative 2. What else does each of the three terms have, everyone? So we have an x. How about x squared? Yes. How about x cubed? Yes. How about x to the 4th? No. So the highest is x cubed. So my GCF is x, negative 2x cubed. So what does that leave us? Negative 2x to the 5th, take away negative 2x cubed, leaves us with x squared. Negative 14 divided by 2 is positive 7x, because we took out x cubed. Negative 12 divided by 2 is positive 6, and we took out the x cubed. What else does your brain want to do with this right here? Tell your neighbor. What does it do with that? Yeah. We got 6 and 7. Factors of 6, that add up to 7, everyone. What two numbers multiply give me 6? When you add them, give us 7. Mario? 6 and 1. So my factors are x plus 6, x plus 1, and don't forget the negative 2x cubed. All that equal to 0. Next, what else do I do from there? We'll set each one of those equal to 0. Negative 2x cubed equal to 0. X plus 6 equal to 0. And x plus 1 equal to 0, and solve. So this one, if we substitute 0 for the x, that becomes 0, so x equals 0. This one, minus 6 minus 6, x equals negative 6, plus 1, x equals 1. So my answers are x equals 0, x equals negative 6, and x equals 1. So which ones of those are my roots? 0, negative 6, and 1. 0, negative 1, and negative 6? Nope. It's not A. 0, 1, and 6? No. C, only 2 and 12? No. Yeah. Did I make a mistake? Oh, my bad. This is negative 1. Yeah, I did that on purpose, see if you were paying attention. So the correct answer is A. So this right here is minus, negative 1. Pretty straightforward. Once again, for factoring, you start with GCF, then you do the Power Ranger, set them equal to 0, and solve. And then just match your answer. Let's go to 16. Wait for a pass. 16. Let me zoom in. For number 16, it does not require any work. All you have to know is understand what you're looking at. Look up, please. What is the highest degree of this polynomial? Tell your neighbor, highest degree. What is our highest degree for that one, Elijah? Yeah, 3, because it's this exponent right there, 3. That means the parent function is f of x equals x cubed. That means if I was to solve that equation, how many x answers do I get? 3 of them. Is that correct? Yes, Mr. Q. Therefore, question is, how many roots? That means how many answers? Correct answer is what, everyone? D. That is correct, because that's the highest degree. So if I give you a polynomial that looks like this, look up. P of x equals 23x to the 5th plus 4x to the 4th minus 3x cubed plus x squared plus x minus 1. What would be the number of roots that we can get for that one? Tell your neighbor, number of roots. How many roots at the end do we get for that one? Correct answer is 5, because that's the highest degree. All right, let's go to number 17. What are the complex roots for that polynomial? Well, the first thing we do is set it equal to 0. So this one, we write 0 equals x squared plus 1. Let's solve. Let's leave x by itself. So what do I do next, everyone? Subtract 1, subtract 1. Mario, let's go. Negative 1 equals x squared. How do we cancel that squared, everyone? Square root, square root. This cancels that. So x equals plus minus. What is square root of negative 1? Remind your neighbor. What is square root of negative 1? Square root of negative 1. Joseph, what is square root of negative 1? Is there such a thing? No. Square root of 1 is 1. But what is square root of negative 1? Is there such a thing, people? No. That's why these are called imaginary. So the correct answer is letter C, I and negative I. Does everybody see? See what I did there? Does everybody see? Anyway. All right, let's go to number 18. Let me make some space for that one. It says, find the roots of the polynomial. First things first, set it equal to 0. 0 equals 6x squared minus 12x plus 78. All right, first things first. Let's check for GCF. What number divides each of those terms? What number? Mariah, what number? 6, that is correct. That leaves us with x squared minus 2x plus, let's see, 13. Next, what does your brain want to do with this trinomial right here? Let's see, 13, negative 2. What two numbers multiply give me 13? 1 times 13. Anything else? No. Can you add or subtract them to give us negative 2? No, it doesn't work, Mr. Q. What do I do next? Well, the only other thing that we can do is x equals minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So that means that we need from here our a, b, and c. So I'm going to write it in green so you guys can see it completely. Underneath here, the standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. So start off with a. What is a? An invisible 1. So A is 1. What is B? B is negative 2. And what is C? C is 13. Once we have that, substitute those in here. So let's do that. X equals minus parentheses plus minus square root parentheses squared minus 4 parentheses parentheses over 2 parentheses. Let me start with A. What was A? A is 1. It goes here and here. What is B? Negative 2, negative 2. And what is C? 13. All right, let's simplify. X equals negative times a negative is a positive 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4 times 13. That's negative 52. Is that correct? All right. Over 2. I'm going to go this way. So we have 2 plus minus square root negative 52 plus 4 is negative 48 over 2. Let's see where we're at with our answers over here. What do we have still? Not quite there, Mr. Q. All right. So, I know. Yeah. Let's break up this 48. And I'm going to rewrite this. Look up. 2 plus minus square root 16 times negative 3. Over 2. Question, what is square root of 16, everyone? Very good. 2 plus minus 4. We're left with square root of negative 3 divided by 2. So, that leaves us, look up, what is 2 divided by 2? My goodness. 1, yes? Plus, minus, what is 4 divided by 2? 2 square root negative 3. So, let's see. Do they give us anything like that? All right. Looks like they give us A and B. However, look up. We forgot to bring down which one. Look up. What did we take out first? The GCF. So that's a 0. And I think they did, look up, they did this step. At this point, instead of getting the, wait, no, they didn't. Plus minus, plus minus. I guess there's a typo, right? What are we missing, guys? The negative on all of this? All right, so this one, the GCF is 6 equal to 0. That doesn't work, so it's not a solution. So the only solutions are these, so the correct answer would be C, not including the 0. Don't include the 0. Why? Because when we have the GCF equal to 0, it is not true. It cancels out. So just be careful with these. It might have a typo like that also. I haven't checked it, but it might. All right, that was number 18. Let's go to number 19. Number 19. The easy ones. Let's go. Whoa. It reads, identify the asymptotes and give the domain and range. Don't worry about the domain and range. Let's look at the asymptotes. Zoom out. So, by looking at this, tell your neighbor what the VA is and what the HA is. What is our VA? All right, what's our VA, Sean? -7. How did you get that? You set up the denominator equal to 0, and you solve. That is correct. So what is our HA, everyone? Our HA is +3. +3. So let's match it. X equals -7. Let's see which one has -7. This one and this one. So it can't be C or B. And which one has the HA +3? Not this one. So the correct answer is D. All right. Let's go to number 20. We're rocking and rolling. Number 20. It says, rewrite the function y equals 2x minus 5, x equals over x minus 3. So, take this, look up, and we're going to rewrite that. But what do we do with stuff like this? Well, Mr. Q, we do a long division. 2x minus 5 divided by x minus 3. All right, so what number times x gives us 2x, everyone? 2. All right, so 2. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times -3 is -6. We're going to subtract. And what did I say? Circle it so you can distribute here and here. So this cancels. 6 minus 5 is 1. And be careful, because this is where some of you make a lot of mistakes. You forget to distribute to the second term, and all of a sudden you get something else. So what is the answer? The answer is 2 plus remainder of 1 over x minus 3. However, what do we do with that 2, everyone? We send it to the back. So we end up with 1 over x minus 3 plus 2. And we always set that equal to g of x. So let's match it. Which one of those looks like that? 1 over x minus 3. Let's see. Nope. Nope. 1 over x minus 3 plus 2. Correct answer is B, not that one. Once again, do the entire process, look up, that I showed you guys, that you practiced enough. Do the entire process, because if you stop, look up. If you stop before the division, you might want to go with something like this or something like the other, and you're just going to be guessing. Make sure you do your long division. All right, go to number 21. Let me zoom out. Please use the graph of f of x equals 1 over x as a guide. So they want us to use that. So this is what I want you to do when you get to this one. When you get to this one, on the side by yourself, do a little coordinate plane. The parent function for this one, we know that our VA is x equals 0. Bless you. And our HA is f of x equal to 0. And our graph for this parent function, f of x, 1 over x, 1 to the right, 1 up. 1 to the left, 1 down. So with that said, let me zoom into what they're asking us to do. It says, do the transformation of 1 over x plus 1. So tell your neighbor what this is going to do to this function. What is that going to do to that function? Where is it going to move it to? Bless you. Where would that move that function to? Let's go with Sebastian. Where would that move it to according to that? Up. That is correct. Up how many steps, everyone? 3. So, you take this one, 1, 2, 3. You take this one, 1, 2, 3. My asymptote through there. So it moves up. So, let's match it. Which of these moved up? Which of those moved up? Tell your neighbor, which of those moved up? Correct answer is B. It even says there, up 3 units. All right. Do we have time for one more, or do I stop right there? All right, I'm going to stop right there, give you guys time to look at the warm-up, get some practice in for those of you following on YouTube. Make sure you go over these by yourself at home. Once again, do the process by yourself. If you get stuck on a step, look at your notes or look at the video, finish it off, and then do the problem again until you get it correct without looking at your notes or the video. All right, see you guys next time.